right, everyone, let's stop all that fun having. We have a very serious meeting we got to get to. Welcome to the RDC. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do the roll call?
Mayor Bonta,
Here.
Commissioner Ambler,
Here.
Commissioner Josviak. Here. Commissioner Lack,
Present.
Commissioner Munt,
Here.
Commissioner Vasquez. Here.
We have the minutes from the March 19th meeting and the April 14th special meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or motions on them?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have the payment of claims from the April 23rd, it's today, dockets. Has everyone had a chance to look over the claims? Are there any questions, clarifications, or motions?
Motion to accept the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have our staff reports. Hey, Mr. Bowditch.
How are you today, Mayor and members of the commission? First, I do want to say that it's a sad day because we're losing one of our commissioners. So I do want to say thank you for all your work, all your questions, the back and forth. It was a pleasure to work with you over the past 2 years, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I'll be brief in my report. We have been working on the 5 residential housing development programs to get those programs through the bonding process with the Municipal Financial Advisor as well as Bond Counsel. Those should be wrapping up here pretty soon, within the next month to 60 days for bonding. Secondly, I have been working with, and it's on the agenda today, on the Simon Southeast, the Project Runways Southeast, Project One Way Southwest. Those 2 items are on the agenda today for public hearing to create a separate and unique allocation area for those projects. And afterwards, we do have a confirming resolution for each one. I've also been working with Tenant A, which is at Kayak Point, which is the Kayak Point A allocation area. That is on the agenda today for a public hearing and a confirming resolution. Once that is confirmed, that will go through an economic development revenue bond process. I've been communicated with the company that is under an NDA, but the company who is Tenant B, which is about a 200 to 225,000 square foot facility to support Tenant A. Within the Kayak Point A, I am in communications with JLL, who is our site selector, to get everything to them as far as the economic development analysis and incentive analysis. So we've been working on that. There's a number of other projects that I've been working on, especially as far as the Promenade West, which there is an item on the agenda this evening also. Promenade West is the portion of the downtown where the existing downtown mall is, the vacant property that the Redevelopment Commission owns. So we're looking at a major redevelopment project there and potentially a master developer to come in and put out an RFP for that. But in advance of that, and it's on the agenda today, is the request for A&Z to provide services, which this will be at a meeting to be determined, to prepare a survey of the area so we can plat it into blocks for development. No need to put them in the blocks and lots because we'll let the developer do that, the master developer, whoever that may be. And then they've asked that we should do a geotechnical so that we can get that prepared for the developer to be, as well as an environmental assessment. That'll move the process along much quicker, so that's on the agenda today also. There's other items that are on the agenda, and I can go through those, but it has been a busy time. Lastly, I would ask, and I don't know if I need a motion now, but we can consider that under other business, is if we can have a special meeting in 2 weeks. There's a number of agreements that the Redevelopment Commission is presenting to you. And so instead of having them on the agenda today, one of those is the A&Z for geotechnical survey and the environmental work. But there's a couple other agreements that need to be considered, as well as another financial issue. So if we can meet potentially in a couple weeks, I don't know what that date is. I believe it's like Thursday, May 11th. I don't have it on my calendar. Pardon? It doesn't matter. Well, then it would be the second Thursday in May. What is that? May 8th, right. So if we can meet on May 8th, if that's possible, at 4:30. And I'll put together an agenda. I've been working with Tom Cherry as well as Sandy McDaniel on a number of projects that will impact budgeting issues. So, something to consider. I would request that. That's all for me right now.
Well, thank you.
Do we need to make a motion now?
Oh, yeah, I guess we could, yeah, if you feel moved to do so.
I do feel moved. I'd like to make a motion to have a special meeting on May 14th at the usual time.
Usual
4:30?
time, 4:30.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that gets us to new business. We have consideration American Structure Point change orders 10 and 12 for Central Avenue project.
Good afternoon, Good afternoon, Mayor and board members. John Tucker, American Structure Point. You have in front of you change orders 10 and 12. Change order 10 is a $0 change. It's a spec change to the contract. State change or spec to allow E5 concrete, so it's just a spec change to allow it in our contract. Number 12 is for some sewer changes with the delay of phase 1 of the bridge into phase 2. There was some overlapping work that got shifted to phase 2, so this is just the material cost from the contractor that had already purchased. We did incorporate some of this work into the other phase. We currently are under budget on this contract, so there's no additional funds needed. It's just a change order work to capture the cost. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Motion to approve both change orders.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that'll get us to American Structure Point change order number 1, Central Phase 2.
Yes, so change order 1 for phase 2 is for the removal of the flashing traffic signal at Swanson. That was in the print. It was omitted from our pay items. Again, we are also under budget on this project, so the cost of that is already being encompassed in the overall. There's no additional funds needed, but it was to establish the pay items for that work. The removal was shown. So received that from the contractor. Prices are all within allowable ranges, so we'd ask the board for approval. If there's any questions on that one, I would happy to answer as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll get us to consideration of the 2025 RDC Annual Overlapping Units Report.
So Mayor, with us this evening is the Redevelopment Commission's Municipal Financial Advisor, Carol Sender. Annually, the redevelopment is required by statute to submit by April 1st a financial report to the executive and to the city council. So that has been completed. Typically, it's the year-end budget and the recording and memorializing what had happened and occurred during fiscal year 2025. By April 15th, which it had been done and submitted to the Redevelopment Commission members, the annual report of the Redevelopment Commission for fiscal year 2025 ending December 31st, 2025, of all of its activities is prepared by Senator Dalton Associates, and Carl is here this evening to present it.
All right. Good afternoon, members of the commission. I'll just give a brief overview. I know you have a copy of the report in your packet. I'll just highlight some of the key items and be open to any questions. I know you have a rather lengthy agenda. Page 2 of the report just talks about the overall purpose. It is required under Indiana code that we present this report to you annually. And we also have the key items, which includes the names of commission members, staffing, fund revenues, expenditures, balances, outstanding debt obligations, TIF parcels. We also have included the annual overlapping taxing unit report, which also includes the budget of the commission, as well as the tax impact, and we'll get into that just very briefly in a little bit. So pages 3 and 4 are just a listing of your members and employees. Go to page 5 is the distribution of tax increment, your main source of revenue. We collected in 2025 $8,997,674.67, so just under $9 million. So that this money is coming in so you can pay debt service on your bonds that are outstanding, as well as to accomplish other purposes of the Commission of Economic Development and Redevelopment. So it's a good chunk of money. Page 5 then is the outstanding debt service on a variety of bonds that we have outstanding. It shows the series, the interest rate, the payment date, total paid, and outstanding principal for each issue. Page 7 then is the commission fund balances for 2025. We started the year with all of our cash balances for the various funds of $9,559,514. We had revenues and receipts came in of $14,608,494.08, and disbursements going out of $15,503,512.39. Ending cash balance $8,664,495.91. And then we just highlighted the resolutions that were approved by the commission during 2025. And you'll see you had quite a busy year of various activities, 21 resolutions. I'm not going to go through each of those. I think you're pretty well familiar with those. Page 11 then is your budget that was for 2026 that the commission had approved prior to the end of last year. And the totals were $11,241,000. Then the last part of the report is talks about the tax impact. We just show that to show, because that's one of the things that the statute requires. If the tax increment allocation areas were not here, what would have been the tax impact? And so just on Exhibit A, for example, if the Southport allocation area number 1 wasn't here, potentially the impact would have been just under 30 cents, 0.2958. But the reality is that had we not created this allocation area, the city wouldn't have been able to make improvements in this allocation area throughout the city, and businesses would not have come. But again, this is something we do as part of the statute. The next Exhibit B, next page just shows the impact on the cumulative funds if the revenues weren't here. And again, we wouldn't have probably had that impact because we wouldn't have had all this additional assessed value. And then we show it, Exhibit C and D for Westchester Township. There's just a couple parcels in Westchester Township in our allocation area. And then E and F are just the tax impact on allocation area number 2, which at this point, there's not a lot of captured growth, only $960,279. So very minor impact if we did not have that. And then finally, Exhibit G is a listing of all the parcels in your allocation areas, number 1 and number 2. And all of these parcels have been uploaded into the Department of Local Government Finance Gateway. So that is, in a nutshell, the report. You have it in your packet. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Do we need a vote to accept it, or is it just being presented?
I think it would be helpful to have a motion just to accept the report.
I'll make a motion to accept the report as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Carl, do we need a resolution on, or can we
I-
do that in a couple weeks? Is
You could do it in I think it's on your agenda. It's item 8.4.
We have consideration, I was just about to say it, number 2602, 2027, budget year determination for tax increment for the Portage Redevelopment Commission allocation area? Is that what you were referring to?
Is that for accepting, or is that for the capture?
That's for
note?
capturing next year's
Oh, okay.
increment that we have to notify.
Okay, yes, we could do that. That's next on the agenda, Mayor.
Yeah, I think you have the resolution in your packet, and that's kind of the companion going along with the report. By June 15th, we have to notify the auditor if there's any increment that we can release of assessed value that we could take out of the allocation area and allocate it back to the taxing units. Because of the amount of debt you have outstanding, as well as the budget you have to accomplish your goals for 2027, it is our recommendation that you adopt this resolution, which indicates that you'll need 100% of next year's TIF revenues from each of the allocation areas in order to accomplish that. And this is just a formality to show that this is our intent, and then we'll have Dan provide the county auditor a letter indicating the same thing. So
And additionally, this is due to the auditor by June, on or before June 15th. So we're getting this out of the way early, so it's timely, and get it to the auditor. But I've read and have seen, and I don't know if it was approved, Carl, you may know better, that there was potential legislation that if a redevelopment commission did not provide a timely notice of capture, that there was a potential 5 to 15%
Reduction.
automatic reallocation and pass-through. So we'll do this early, so it's on their books.
it's important to have it done.
Yes.
Early, so.
So we'll have it done. I will have it file stamped with the auditor, so we have documented proof that we submitted it on time. So,
Any other questions or a motion?
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 26-02.
Second.
So we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
thank you, Carl.
So next up for consideration, we have the CNG fill station. Tom, are you speaking on that? Or do we have I can cover it if we need. So I forget exactly which meeting it was, but we put out an RFP to see if a company could partner with us to do a CNG fueling station in the city. That would allow us to do a couple of things. One, provide a place where you can have a CNG fueling station, which is great. The second part is it also allows us to meet obligations the city entered to, I don't remember the year, but prior to this administration, about getting a CNG station brought into the city. We were hopeful that we could find a public-private partnership that would be able to allow us to meet the demands of that program that the city is in, while also being something then that can service our own city vehicles and any other CNG coming through. We put out an RFP. We got one thing back from Ozinga. If you guys have had a chance to take a look at it, I think it's pretty great what they've offered there. What I would say is that they've given two options. One would be based on our street department location on Hamstrom Road, which definitely benefits us, but they also have the option on there for our property that the Redevelopment Commission owns on Route 12. Am I correct, Tom, that it's the Route 12 address?
Just south of
I think of it as 249, but I think it's a Route 12 address, right? We see tremendous benefit in talking with Superintendent Reeder as well about crafting a public-private partnership on that site. With the bid having come back, I'm sorry, not bid, with the proposal having come back from Mozinga, my request to the RDC would be if you guys could, similar to what we've done with other real estate deals, if you guys could vote to approve me and the staff to negotiate for one of these two options with Mozinga. Again, I have one that I know that I prefer, and I'm happy to talk about that openly, but we need to meet with them next and see which option's the best one for this public-private partnership, assuming you guys are also okay with the proposal that came back. Tom, how'd I do?
Very good. Thanks.
Thought it would be in your packet? Oh, what we have right here isn't the whole packet. It would be online, though. Yeah. And like I say, the city, one way or another, per the program that we're in, we're obligated to be able to provide a CNG station. This is a great opportunity to have it done through a public-private partnership, which takes the cost essentially off the city and puts it on a company to build a CNG station. For us to be able to make that count, for us in the program that we're in, I think there's a great opportunity there, but I think being able to negotiate with them on either option 2 or option 1 that they gave, and I don't remember if they said A and B or 1 and 2, but I think that ideally, if we could get them to agree, or as long as all boxes check, we can get them to that site on 12, that has tremendous benefit for both the street department and I think other CNG opportunities in the city. Mr. Reeder's here too, if you guys have any questions about the CNG program that we're in and just kind of the different things we've talked about, because Randy's much more of an expert than I am on it. I don't have to pull you up, Randy, unless someone's got a question, or unless you want to say something.
Then you're just seeking authorization to negotiate and sign on behalf of the commission?
Yes.
Okay. And then if the Route 12, would it be a transfer of land to the public-private
We'd
partnership?
continue to own it, would be what we would be hoping for there, but that's part of the negotiating it and working out those details.
Make a motion to authorize the mayor to negotiate and sign on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Well, thank you. That gets us for consideration of a MOU. That is a memorandum of understanding for 6090 Route 12. Does anybody know that address? Mr. Chair, you know what address that is?
I do. That's the open air.
Yes, that's our open air pavilion. And would you guys like to come up and speak a little bit about it? I'm so excited about this. The last thing we did was pretty cool too, but this I'm really excited about.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Tom Sira. I'm a board member of the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Project. Bob Myers, the president of the board of the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Project, he's also with us today. It's been a pleasure working with the city, with Leanne Van Kuren and Tom Cherry and the rest of the staff. This memorandum of understanding is a prelude to a lease. It was written entirely by the city of Portage. We made no changes to it. But this is what this is for an understanding that we'll be building probably the most significant part of the Sand and Steel Initiative that's happening with the Porter County tourism from Miller Beach all the way through Michigan City. So we want to put together something of which the city of Portage could be proud. We were looking forward to the infrastructure improvements, including HVAC and a few other things that are necessary there before a lease can happen. So this is just a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Project, and we're looking forward to it.
You're comfortable with me describing like what it is we're looking to do with the building?
Sure, absolutely.
So this is the creation of the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Museum. So if you're familiar with the open-air pavilion, we have the part that's the actual, open-air pavilion, which is to say the part where we had the ice skating, where we've done some different events for the parks. Brewfest is going to be happening this Saturday. But that building began as one of the U.S. Steel training facilities. The city spent a great deal of money to make one side of it the open-air pavilion, but the other side is primarily just been used for storage, but it's a very buildable space. And after discussion with the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Project, and I'm not trying to brag, I was just so excited when you guys came and met with me. We've been seeking a use for that side of the building for a very long time. And so in communication with the park department, which kind of helps manage that site for the Redevelopment Commission, we've been working to make this the site of the museum. And just put it simply, we're really proud to be in steel country, but for this particular museum to be an opportunity for that to come to Portage is an extraordinary one for our city, both to bring more people to the site. It will still lead to us being able to utilize the open-air pavilion side of it, although, yeah. But that's where this is an MOU that allows us to start that process. It's not a lease itself, but it's an understanding that that's what we're working towards, in that we're exploring basically the issues of how to set up the site, with the HVAC, because we have to be able to have air conditioning in there, But then also things like how we want to separate so that you guys are able to have events in the open air side, but then there's also room for open air on the city side. But this is technically the first step, but what's a really exciting process of really celebrating our steel heritage.
Yes, thank you for that.
So can you give some examples of the activities that you would have in that?
Well, of course, we're in the preliminary stages, and we do have a blast furnace model that will fill this room. We have a fire truck. We have artifacts from Inland Steel, from U.S. Steel, from Bethlehem Steel, old Bethlehem Steel. And we will have, we're planning on it being interactive, but, we have to start slowly. We want to make sure we have the artifacts in place, and we do it professionally. Like I said, I want to make the city of Portage proud, or we do, of this facility. So we have board members that are on other museums, part of other museums. So again, we just want to make it as professional as possible, interactive exhibits, exhibits that people from here can relate to, from their family members, their grandfathers, their fathers, as the mayor is.
You got somebody like a grandfather like mine and a father like mine. I mean, I see
That's
it
right.
too.
Uncle
Another
like yours.
thing that has transpired in the time between when we first started talking about this and getting to this point is that the new direction of the Marquette Greenway Trail that's been approved is going around this site. So previously, the Marquette Greenway Trail was going to go a different direction through Portage to connect from Burns Harbor through Ogden Dunes to Gary. But within the last month, I had to give my blessing because they want the mayor's blessing on these things. It's going to be going actually from where it currently ends, going west at the Ameriplex, and then going up 249, and then actually up over that bridge that gets you to the mill. There's going to be a section of that that's the bike trail, and then it'll go across the bridge. And so anybody taking the Marquette Greenway Trail when it's finished from Chicago to New Buffalo, if you go the whole way through, you're going to be passing the Steel Museum.
Yes.
I'm thinking about students, and would that be a site that students could go visit and learn about the steel industry?
Absolutely. That will definitely be part of it. It's going to be set up for safety, first of all. So that's one of the things we're looking for with infrastructure is to make of course, we need HVAC, we need a few other things related to that, but we want to make sure that we have code enforcement come in to look at all the electrical boxes that are there and the plumbing fixtures and the gas lines that were previously used by U.S. Steel. So yes, it's going to be safe, and we're definitely going to invite students in for that interactive experiences. Sure.
I'd just like to say this is a fabulous idea. I love it.
Well, thank you. It's Bob's creation. I have to say that. He's a little shy, but he's shy in front of a microphone. He is nowhere near shy when it comes to steel artifacts. He's amazing.
I can tell you in a meeting, he's not shy, Ed. I love that about you, Bob. But I think the thing is that, too, I want to say thank you to you guys, because not everyone knows this, but when we did our anniversary memorial for September 11th last year, we had a piece of the Twin Towers as part of that ceremony. With this being the 25th anniversary of September 11th coming up this year, we're having a larger, more public ceremony, a memorial. Where we're involved with the schools on that, the Legion on that, and of course bringing the public in for it. But that piece of tragic history, that was provided by this organization. We're currently keeping it at one of our fire stations, but it's still part of the Northwest Indiana Steel Heritage Project.
And just one more point, we are a fully volunteer board, so, and we're going to stay that way. So this is all just from our hearts. We want to make this happen for Northwest Indiana.
I think it's long overdue. I'm a daughter of a steel worker, so I couldn't be more proud. I know U.S. Steel, Inland Steel, I know they built this country, so I'm
course.
so proud of it.
Yeah, as well as Beth on. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, well then, there's a signature that has to go on the MOU.
We'll start if there's any other discussion or if there's a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
We have, oh, that's fine. Motion at a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, we have consideration NERC building as polling place for Porter County Election Division. If this feels like deja vu, because it's happened in 2024 that it was a polling place, and then it became realized they needed our permission for that. Similar thing has happened here. Something that I have done, and coincidentally, it is a weird coincidence, I'm now the chairman of NERC, and I've been in communication with Ty Warner, the director, and we definitely want to have a bigger discussion after this election season about if we see this as the best place for a polling place going forward, but for the time being, we think that given the practice and the somewhat muscle memory people have about coming to the site, and the fact that it's already a polling place in use because they believe they had permission already. They thought that last time was good for, we will fix that in the future, but I would ask you guys to approve this for the sake of not becoming the craziest election story you've ever seen.
Motion to approve NERC building as polling place for Porter County election.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. We have consideration professional service agreement with DLZ Youth Baseball Fields. Is anybody from DLZ here? It's okay if they're not. I just wasn't sure if maybe Tom or Dan was talking on that, or is that all?
Just a DLC, professional service agreement for the youth baseball.
For design? So we did have a conversation with DLZ. We're in the process, as you well are aware, of relocating the baseball fields from downtown, Portage downtown, located in the West Promenade area. And so we are working with and asking for a professional services agreement to be approved with DLZ, who has done some concepting work for us, but to get to actually do the design and the construction estimates, full 30% design for the fields to be relocated to an alternative site. That would be on, and may I say, Mayor, or is it?
I think for the time being, it might be best
Okay.
not to directly say, because that's still under some consideration.
Okay.
But basically to have the designs to be able to create the specifications so that we can then, yeah, basically this is not a vote to approve new baseball fields or like a location, but for us
Right.
to enter the contract with them to be able to design that.
And our intention and process is for the concept designs and the cost estimates, which would be detailed, and have RFPs placed out for a specific area that is in acreage and would show how many baseball fields, what type of baseball fields, what type of facilities, how much parking would be necessary, the type of lighting, fencing, et cetera, so that developers or interested individuals interested in developing the property for the Redevelopment Commission can submit proposals for that. There are a number of locations in the city that we've looked at And it's now, we need to push the next domino so that we can efficiently move the relocate the baseball fields to two facilities that are next generational.
I'll make a motion to approve a professional service agreement with DLZ to move the baseball fields.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That'll get us to consideration professional service agreement with A and Z Engineering. Sorry, there's DLZ and then A and Z Engineering.
So I did speak about this earlier. I would ask that this be tabled until the May 14th meeting. I've had been in communication with A and Z. As stated, Promenade West requires survey work, which will dovetail with the survey. They did the survey work for the purchase process of the downtown mall property, the parking lot mall properties, and the alley area. So it was logical to use them again. They have all the points. But also, as far as geotechnical, A&Z does not provide that service, so they're looking at a subcontractor to do that. There's really one that does that in Northwest Indiana that has done all the work, and they are working with them. And as far as the environmental services to conduct a Phase 1 environmental, to look at the history of the property, to see if there's any red flags of any tainted property, soils, or any contamination, that would subcontract it out to Short Elliott Hendrickson, potentially. They are putting together the numbers. The intent was to have that for today's meeting. They asked for an extension in order to sharpen their pencils as asked of them. So they said if we can get a couple more weeks, and I said that's fine because I was going to ask for a special meeting anyways. So I would just ask that this be tabled until the 14th meeting.
And just for clarification, the Promenade West is the Portage Mall. Is that what we're talking about?
Basically, the parking lot and all the redevelopment commission property owned to the east and to Central Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I didn't know that it was like a designated name either until this got put on.
Well, we had to come up with an area name, and we have Promenade East, which is, the Holiday property, and this is Promenade West. So, and then we'll have some Promenade North and South, so,
Sounds bougie.
thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then, Dan, is it the same with the other consideration for the supplemental agreement to number 2, or is that different?
Well, this is a Bill Rathjen
Oh, that one.
question.
Bill, yep. I apologize, Bill. Is that that's that item?
It's on the, yes, that's.
Okay, got it. Bill, I'm sorry, I mixed it up with another one. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. This is the 27 parcels?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, go ahead, yeah. It's got A and Z in it, so that's why I wanted to make sure I understood it.
I was still calling it Portage Mall, so I apologize for that. Didn't realize you were talking about the same
To
thing.
Judy's point, we wanted something bougier for the paper when
Yeah.
the article comes out.
Put my glasses on so I know what I'm looking at. Okay, yeah, what I was asked to do is, there are 30 lots outside of the Portage Mall lots that we are buying. There are 30 parcels of land outside of that they need to survey. In order to do the survey, they need title work for each one of those lots. We have 3 of those 30 on file already. Since we started doing the real estate, we have the title work on file. The other 27 we have to get. So I contacted Chicago Title on short notice. We have basically a request for an expenditure of not to exceed $15,000 for the title searches for the 27 parcels. We believe title work cost is based on chain of title, and we didn't have enough time to research all the chain of title, so we went for a worst-case condition. That's why the $15,000. We're hoping that this can be done for like $5,000, but because the meeting was tonight, I had to have a worst-case number. So I ask for a motion to authorize the expenditure of $15,000 for title searches of 27 parcels in the Portage downtown mall area, or whatever else you want to call it.
Sure. And Bill, just to clarify, in the Promenade West, Portage Mall, downtown, Suarez Plaza, whatever we want to call it, that's an idea too, after our first judge. I think that'd be kind of cool because his office was over there, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But this is land we already own as a city, is that correct?
We own 26 of the 27 that we need to do, yes, which is why we don't have them. So, and we've owned them for a while. These are not ones we've purchased recently.
I want to say like at least around 2007, if not before.
2004, some of them up through 2007, so over about a 4-year period. So I ask for that motion if you can.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll do the rest of mine later.
That'll get us to the public hearing for Kayak Point, A allocation area. We have the consideration of the confirming resolution after that. So, Mr. Bowditch, do you recommend I do the open public hearing, ask 3 times thing?
I mean, I can give a quick overview if you'd like, Mayor.
Oh, absolutely. I just
So
want to make sure.
so the public hearing portion in the approval process, so we have already, as of resolution 2026-01, which was approved on February 26th of 2026, basically, as an overview, pruned or removed certain parcels from Salt Creek to Samuelson Road, north of US 20 to I-94 generally. Remove those from the Southport allocation area with the intent of creating a new allocation area for those parcels to be known as Kayak Point A allocation area. That declaratory resolution was sent to the Plan Commission to ensure compliance and advise the council that it is in compliance with the master plan of the city. That did occur under Resolution 2026-03 on April 6th. On April 7th, the Common Council approved Resolution 2608 on April 7th. Again, they basically took the advisory written order and approved it as the document being in compliance with the comprehensive plan. That then triggers a number of notices. We at the last meeting scheduled the public hearing for this evening on April 23rd at our March meeting. We did submit and publish notice in the paper of the public hearing on or before April 13th. It was in the Post Tribune. The overlapping taxing units were filed and sent a packet with a report of tax impact and benefits of the Kayak Point A allocation area. The planning entities of the city were also notified of the public hearing. And so today, by holding the public hearing, it's one of the last steps before a confirming resolution, which basically the confirming resolution states that you did everything statutorily to now formally memorialize that everything was done according to statute. And that would be for consideration upon the public hearing. So the public hearing is for any individual to come and remonstrate for or against the amending declaratory resolution.
Thank you so much. And with that, I will open the public hearing. And like all public hearings, I'm going to ask 3 times if anybody would like to come up. That's just something that's good record keeping. So I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on Kayak Point A allocation area? Is there anyone here to speak on Kayak Point A allocation area? Is there anyone here to speak on Kayak Point A allocation area? At this time, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for consideration.
So we have prepared resolution number 2026-03, is titled Confirmatory Resolution of the Portage Redevelopment Commission Adopting Amending Declaratory Resolution number 2026-01 that designated a new allocation area within the existing Southport Economic Development Area, modifying the Southport allocation area provisions, allocation provisions, and taking related actions for the purposes of tax increment financing. I would ask that the commissioners entertain the motion to approve Resolution 2026-03 based upon legal review and recommendation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I believe it passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This will make this is the first step now. We'll be going through the bonding process. Again, it's for two major tenants, potentially between 400 to 400,000 square feet of light industrial manufacturing space that will create an eastern gateway on Salt Creek on US 20. So this is the beginning of a new corridor development on US 20, so thank you.
Thank you. So that'll get us to the next matter, the public hearing for the Simon Southwest allocation area. And I think that the previous meeting, we mixed up southwest and southeast, so I just want to be really clear that what we're at right now is the southwest part.
Yes. So similarly, the Redevelopment Commission passed resolution number 2025-19 on November 20th, 2025. So that started the process as an amending declaratory resolution. It has taken this long because we've been in negotiations with the developer for an economic development agreement. We've been working on the financial incentivization of the project. And so as on the Plan Commission, it was sent to the Plan Commission. They approved Resolution 2026-02 on January 5th, 2026. The Common Council took action by Resolution 2029 on April 7th, 2026. Again, notice was published in the paper, the Post-Tribune. The planning entities of the cities were notified. Tax impact and benefits reports were sent to overlapping taxing units on or before April 13th. The notice was published in the paper on or before April 13th. And tonight, we're having the public hearing on the declaratory resolution 2025-19. This project is the BJ's Warehouse project, as well as other ancillary retail, office, and commercial service structures, facilities in that area. We've been working on this for about 12 to 14 months, and it's now come to fruition. Once this is done, we will work to finalize the economic development agreement, and we'll also take the next steps for the bonding. The developer is purchasing their own bond.
What I'll do now is I'll open up the public hearing. And I'll ask, is there anyone here to speak on the Simon Southwest allocation area? Is there anyone here to speak on the Simon Southwest allocation area? Is there anyone here to speak on the Simon Southwest allocation area? At this time, I'll close the public hearing, and we'll bring it back to the board.
So similarly, we've prepared resolution number 2026-04, which is a confirmatory resolution of the Portage Redevelopment Commission adopting amending declaratory resolution number 2025-19 that designated a new allocation area within the existing Southport Economic Development Area, modifying the Southport allocation area allocation provisions, and taking related actions for the purposes of tax increment financing. As an additional note specific to the Simon Southwest allocation area. I would ask and entertain that the commissioners consider the resolution for approval based upon legal review.
Motion to approve the resolution based on legal review.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it passed. And then that gets us to consideration for the Simon Southeast allocation area.
3 of them in a row. So similarly, I'll go through the quick history. On November 20th, the Redevelopment Commission approved amending Declaratory Resolution 2025-18 that, once again, pruned and removed and then created, established, and designated a new allocation area for the purposes of Project Runway Southeast, which is known as the Target Project, or Target plus ancillary retail, commercial, and office structures at the southeast corner of Airport Road and US 6. The Plan Commission took action on January 5th, 2026 by Resolution 2026-01. The Council took its action on April 7th, 2026 by Resolution 26-10 to formally approve that it is in compliance with the master plan for the city. Again, the notice was approved and published in the Post-Tribune on or before April 13th. The plan of the notice was sent to the planning entities of the city on or before the 13th of April. The tax impact report and benefits was sent to the overlapping taxing units, again, on or before April 13th, and tonight is the public hearing prior to consideration of a confirming resolution on the project.
Well, this time, what I'll do is I will open up the public hearing, and I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak on Simon Southeast allocation area. Is there anyone here to speak on Simon Southeast allocation area? Is there anyone here to speak on Simon Southeast allocation area? At this time, I will close the public hearing, and I'll bring it back to the board.
Mayor, I would ask that the commission entertain a motion to consider resolution number 2026-05, a confirmatory resolution of the Portage Redevelopment Commission adopting amending declaratory resolution number 2025-18 that designated a new allocation area within the existing Southport Economic Development Area, modifying the Southport allocation area allocation provisions, and taking related actions for the purposes of tax increment financing, again, specific to the Simon Southeast allocation area and Project Runway Southeast, upon legal review, Commission's legal review.
Motion to approve upon legal review.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we're good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. The developers in both the Simon Southeast, Southwest, that developer has been waiting and on pins and needles to get this done, so I will let them know first thing in the morning. As far as the Kayak Point A, they are very well interested to know that this is moving forward and to get the bonding process. They also will be purchasing their own bond. So there's going to be a lot of construction going on in Portage on US 12 and US 6, or US 20 and US 6 in the next 3 to 6 months.
Hopefully 12 too, at least in the
We'll
spot
get
where-
12 going too.
Yeah.
We'll get 12 going too. We have the new museum coming in. So thank you very much, Commissioners.
Well, and hopefully the CNG facility too. That'd be, yeah. All right, that'll get us to consideration Simmons, not to be confused with Simon, landscaping proposal for parks, Founders Square, NERC, Little League, and Gilbert Park. This is it should be, and I apologize, I think the price list was put in the docket originally, and then later today we realized that the actual professional service agreement had not been put in, so we put that in. We have companies that we do, different things with. This is a proposal to add another company into it. They've done some voluntary work in the city already, so we're familiar with the work, and we've also called them for a couple of things, but this would be a formal agreement to get them in our task list. Mr. Cherry, did I explain that well enough?
And I believe there was one of several, the fire department properties that were included? They were not, but they will be included in this proposal. So not only the landscaping and work for the parks, for parks in the allocation areas, Founders Square, NERC, which is owned by us, the Little League, which is owned by us, Gilbert Park, which is owned by us, as well as the police and fire stations that are located within the allocation area, serve and benefit the allocation area, so that a positive impact and visual curb appeal is provided for the City of Portage as municipal buildings.
This proposal comes from a individual who went to Kyle School and is a Portage High School graduate. He took over the business at Forney's on US Highway 6. I like this proposal because it's very comprehensive. It covers a lot of areas we have not covered in the past. And I'd like to, anytime I think the RDC can allocate a contract like this, an agreement like this with someone from Portage who has a vested interest in the community is a good thing. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then that'll bring us back to Mr. Bill Rathjen, real estate issues. Wilma, I'm trying so hard to get this done before you got to go.
I have 3 items for you tonight. We'll move through them pretty quick. First one's pretty easy. It's the Ewing Farm lease for all the land on the north side, which is a recurring lease that we have every year. This year got a little bit messier because of the north side interceptor project and the land that we tore up. But we clarified it with 4 attachments, re-identified the land that he's doing, and adjusted the prices. We also owe him a $660 credit from last year. I apologize again. Been fighting this for a couple weeks. So their total payment this year will be $2,599 is what they will be owing us. I would ask for a motion to authorize the execution of the lease with Charles Ewing of the C&D Ewing Farms LLC. I did submit the lease to our attorney for review, and he can. It's all good for him. So we don't need the legal clause on the end.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Second item is Garrington School. We have some interest in the land value that Garrington School currently sits on. And in order to do this, we need to get 2 appraisals on the land, assuming the buildings are removed prior to any transfer. We received the quotes from Valuation Services and American Valuation Appraisers. Total expenditure is $3,800. Copies have been provided. This one has not been sent to the attorney yet, so I would ask for a motion to authorize the expenditure of $3,800 for the 2 appraisals and execution engagement letters by the mayor contingent upon legal review.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And the last one's a little strange. Not like the rest of them aren't, but this is Old Porter Road subdivision, which is the 2 lots that we just created at the intersection of Old Porter Road and Marine Drive, off of Route 20. Everybody's following where we're at. We actually advertised these lots several weeks ago. We did not get any proposals from that advertisement, which ended on the 20th. We were supposed to open up the bids now. We don't have any bids to open. But we still need to complete the subdivision process as the owner of the land. So the owner of the land is the Redevelopment Corporation. So the Redevelopment Corporation needs to apply to Tom's group, and sometimes he can be difficult to deal with.
Challenge.
So we need someone to do that. So they've asked me if I could represent you. Well, to do that, I need your authorization to represent you, and I would work with John Hannon, who was the engineer for that project, to create the Old Porter Road subdivision. So the motions would be to authorize the 2 parcels be made available for the open market for bidding, and to add them to our existing listing agreement, and to authorize me to represent you in the transaction with the Planning Commission.
So moved.
So we have a so moved. I was just gonna ask Bill, I know when a lot of people hear subdivision, and maybe people who are watching like here, they usually think like a neighborhood being built. In this case, we mean a more technical definition of subdivision. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's just a two-lot subdivision. You have to, when you plat it, do the secondary plat, it has to be named. So we named it after the road that it sits on. It's commercial use, yeah. We do have people interested in the lots, but because we don't have them plotted, we didn't get any bids on it, but we will be able to sell them on the open market.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I just had a feeling that maybe some people heard subdivision were like, wait, yeah. Yeah. Like, well, I'm like, I don't know what you would fit there, but it's like.
Yeah, it is not a residential subdivision, and it will produce somewhere around $180,000 to $200,000 in income for the board, so.
I was thinking those tiny houses, Tom, and maybe two of them stacked on top of each other. It could be like, yeah. They could be the first tiny townhomes, the first tiny ones.
Thank you. And just to close, I'd like to say thank you to Judy, too, and her time on the board and my time working with her. I appreciate all the efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judy, it was an honor to have you on this board. I'm so excited to have you here from the start. I mean, we came in together on this board. Nothing against like Greg and, Ralph who are already here, but like, thank you so much for everything. We're gonna miss you. And if you come back, we can get you back on too.
Thank you, it's been an honor.
I'd also like to say that I started off as, I guess, a fellow colleague working with you, and now we became friends, and relationships are very important to me, and wherever you end up, and I know you have a plan, I know that you will be my friend. We will stay in touch, and for Pete's sakes, we're birthday twins. We were born on the same date, and so that made us even bond even so much more. So
Maybe you were switched at birth? Is that what, maybe? You guys could have been switched at birth, maybe? Like, could have been like twins, like that big business movie? Like, it could be like the Redevelopment Commission? No.
Thank you very much. Your friendship means an enormous amount to me.
I know in this modern world, it's not terribly hard to keep in touch with people, but at the same time, as someone who struggles sometimes with playing phone tag with people, I promise I'll be around, and thank you for everything. Any other matters or a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.